A very warm welcome to StudyIQ, my dear friends. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are in good. Today is 20th July 2020. I would like to start today's discussion with this quote by Marcus Aurelius. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Strength. We all want strength in our life. And we can have access to unlimited strength when we realize this thing, that everything that will happen outside, right? Something happens outside, that thing I cannot control that thing. But the thing that I can control is how that thing will impact me. If something good happens, then I'm going to take the good. If something bad happens, I'm going to take the lesson. But I will not allow that bad thing to destroy me. Because how I react to that thing is totally on me. It's totally on my mind. And my mind, I can control it. It is my mind, right? If something is mine, then I can definitely control it, isn't it? If something is not mine, then how can I control it? So think about it. With this, dear friends, StudyIQ team has designed a smart course. This smart course is for Civil Services Examination. It covers your pre as well as mains examination. And to find out more about it, all you have to do is download our mobile application. To download the PDF of today's lecture, check out my Telegram channel. You can follow me on Facebook. Please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Hit the like button if you have learned something from today's discussion. And please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have subscribed, then hit the notification bell as well. Dear friends, on our table we have articles from various different newspapers. They are on various different topics. The first one is about defense. The second one is about geopolitics. Third one is about vaccine, important for your prelims examination. This one and this one both are about USA, but both of them are important. And the last one is, of course, the news section. So let's start our discussion with the first article that we find from this newspaper called Tribune. Now, addressing our defense personnel, our defense minister Rajnath Singh has said that there is no guarantee that the discussion that is going on with China, India-China discussion that are going on, this discussions will lead to a permanent solution of this border dispute. There is no guarantee for it. So if we read between the lines, what is the message? What we can decode here from this message of our defense minister Rajnath Singh? Basically, the first thing that I understand from this thing is things are going to go on like this for a bit of long time. Now, long time definition, all of us may have different definition, but I think for next maybe 2 months, 1.5, 2 months, things are going to be as it is. If something happens, when I say something happens, I'm talking about something out of the blue. Suddenly, something turns up and things are quiet between India and China, then that's what we want, right? I'm sure China as well is not inclined to have a war with India or to take it to a next level. We don't want to do that, and I'm sure they also don't want to do it. But I think it's going to take maybe, I think 2 months where we are standing at present. I think 2 months, but it can go on longer as well. So this is the first thing that I can decode from this statement by our defense minister. This indicates a larger Chinese design to prolong the standoff. The second point that we can take out of this statement is that China has prepared, or China is well prepared for a longer standoff. So we have to match up with China. And this is, I really appreciate Defense Minister for being very realistic. He has revealed the stark, dangerous reality on the ground. But he's not here, using weakness, or he's not weak, or India is not weak. Defense Minister has clearly stated that there is no power in the world that can grab even an inch of Indian territory. So this is confidence boosting statement. Now, one thing that we have to keep in mind, and I'm sure we all are aware about this thing, that when it comes to trust, we cannot do that. We cannot trust China because, see, a few weeks ago, or a month ago, roughly speaking a month ago, 6th June, India and Chinese corps commanders meeting takes place, and in this meeting they agreed that they are going to disengage. But what happened after, let's say, 19 days? On 15th June, China strikes India. They killed over 20 soldiers, right? And it is said that, as far as I know, that Taiwan said that we were sure about 45 soldiers of China, but I think Taiwan said that 100 plus soldiers of China died in this standoff. So this is a big blow for a country like China, for a country size is quite bigger than us. I'm not talking about geographical size, I'm talking about economical as well as defense size is bigger. And then as well they have to, they lost their 100 plus soldiers. So that's a big blow. China, I think, thought that India is going to be very soft and India is going to, cow down. But this means we have surprised China, to be honest. And since then, 3 meetings have already taken place. On 5th of July, Ajit Doval, he met Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi. Of course, it was over the line or over the net. Incredible strategic thinkers have pointed out that line of actual control could have got shifted westwards into Indian territory by about a kilometer. So this is going to last a bit longer and we have to prepare ourselves. The thing is, it all started with this Daulat Beg Oldie airstrip. India is building this Daulat Beg Oldie. This is a road, and India is upping our infrastructure. China has already created good quality infrastructure nearby this border area. So the reason why you need infrastructure basically means roads and other things is if there is any sort of war or things like that, then you can easily deploy your tanks and other things, whatever you want, right? They have this railway connectivity as well. So it gives you an upper hand, it gives you speed, it gives you resources, right? You can utilize your 100% resources, and that's what India is also doing at present. So China is a bit afraid, China is not comfortable with India developing its infrastructure around border area. Now, one thing that I want you guys as well to, I want to pass this message to all of you that in this statement of Rajnath Singh, he has of course addressed our defense personnel and indirectly he has addressed our nation as well. Now, as a citizen, we have to take our own stand, right? When I say our own stand, like whatever you can do to increase the strength of our nation, like for few people it is like paying your right amount of tax. For few people maybe you can donate some money. I'm not talking about you guys, I'm saying generally speaking, I'm just keeping some things in front of you and then we can decide what we can do, what I can do to provide that strength to my government as well as to my soldiers. So you can write letters, you can letters to soldiers maybe, or this defense personnel. You can not use Chinese apps or those Chinese products that the profit from which is used against our soldiers. So there are so many things that we need to do. So this is a message from defense minister, like indirect message. This is something that I decode, that we have to do our bit as well. Okay. Moving on to next one, make the right call on Malabar going quad. Now we know that a few days ago we were talking about this quad. You have 4 nations. For those students who are new here, let me tell you, quad basically means quadrilateral. So you have 4 countries here. You have USA, this is a flag of Japan, this is flag of India, and this is Australia. Common thing between these 4 nations, all are democratic countries. Second thing, they all are interested in this Indo-Pacific region. So this is Indian Ocean and this is Pacific Ocean, right? So they are interested in safety and security of this whole portion that you can see on your screen. Now, India and Australia, Australia is the only country in this quad that shares border with Indian Ocean as well as Pacific Ocean. We have a very strategic location on this Indian Ocean when it comes to Japan and USA. They are located on. They share there. They are, you can say, Pacific Ocean littorals nations. Okay. Now India could soon invite Australia to join this Malabar exercise, naval exercise to be precise. So it all started. This Malabar exercise started with India and USA. Doing a joint naval exercise, and then Japan was taken on board. Can you give me the name of the year in which Japan became part of this Malabar naval exercise? Stick your answer in the comment section. And now India is going to give a green signal to Australia to join this Malabar naval exercise. So this is for the first time we find since 2007, for the first time we see these Quad nations together. They are going to do a joint military drill. Now this is going to create a bit of itchiness, and China is not going to feel comfortable with this Quad doing military exercise, because China has always opposed this Quad. China calls this Quad as an Asian NATO, right? Asian NATO. To be precise, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, NATO. So Quad is an Asian NATO, that's what China says. And the Global Times, that is just like we have our DD, that is Doordarshan. In China they have the Global Times, but this Global Times is DD News is impartial. This Global Times is partial, right? It's just like a government spokesperson. So the Global Times has said that India is risking a sort of harsh reaction from China. China is going to be furious about this thing. You are asking Australia, and you four countries are together trying to create more pressure on China. So China is not going to be happy with this thing. Malabar exercise may make China uncomfortable. And there is a risk as well that we need to keep in mind that till now Indo-China conflict has been limited to this land area. Now we are taking it to this new front that is in marine area. So we have to ask a few questions here. What is the strategic rationale of this military Quad? What we are going to get from it? The thing is that see, the US and the Pacific partners, they want Indo-Pacific littorals that they follow rule-based order, and India's priority is to acquire strategic capabilities to counter a Chinese naval presence in Indian Ocean. The thing is, China has good amount of submarines, and their undersea capability is something that we need to catch up with. For that, we need to buy some stuff from countries like USA. Now, USA's defense companies, they are not that comfortable. They are hesitant in sharing or in selling this strategic technology to India. So the big question is that all of us, Australia, Japan, USA, India, all of us, we are not happy with the behavior of China. Point number one. Point number two, if we want to create pressure on China, then we have to work as one unit. And for that, we have to share technology, as well as we have to have trust on each other, isn't it? But here, if you don't share, if USA is not happy to, or USA's defense companies, if they are not ready to give this strategic technology to our country, then how we can trust them? How we can allow them to come here and do joint naval exercises with us? Of course, I'm not saying that we need to stop it, but the thing is, situation is extraordinary now. So we have to join hands with each other, particularly democratic nations. US may draw India into strategic contest with China. This is a risk again. We don't have we have border issue, land boundary issue with them, but now we are going to, or we may enter into a sort of strategic contest, and USA will try its level best to have as many countries as possible in its team, so that we can create pressure on, so that it can create pressure on China. But I think we will be okay with that thing, isn't it? Because if you see China, then China has supplied weapons and so many things to countries like Pakistan, North Korea, etc. So China is not a country that sticks to the rules and regulations or by the book. It will not follow your rules. It has rejected international rules as well. One thing that I would like to add here again is that Japan and USA are more interested in Pacific Ocean. They are not that much interested in Indian Ocean, because the thing is that they don't have this direct access to Indian Ocean. They are not Indian Ocean littoral states. So it is quite natural. So a predominant role has to be played by both Australia and India. Luckily, Australia is the only one ready and able to partner India in securing Eastern Indian Ocean. So we need to make the most out of this partnership. And we have seen Chinese Navy loitering in Indian Ocean, but they have kept themselves away from our Navy. I strongly believe that the reason why China has not engaged Indian naval ships in this subcontinental littoral is because at present China knows this thing very well, that China is not that strong when it comes to Navy. And they know it very well that India is having a well experienced as well as a professional, one of the best in the world Navy. So engaging Indian Navy at present is not going to be that great. You are going to see a very bad result. So at present, stay away from Indian Navy. But I think maybe in next 10 years or maybe 15 years, they are going to misbehave with us. That's what I think of China. When they get strong at something, they will do. When they were not that strong, they were having a very good relationship with USA. They used to talk good things about USA. And all of a sudden, when they realize that they have deep pockets, they have money, they can have their own partners and they can have their own banks and so many other things, then you can see their behavior with USA. Reality check. Naval coalition building alone will not credibly deter Chinese naval power in Indian Ocean. For a better result, what we need to acquire requisite combat and deterrence capabilities. And USA and Japan and Australia, these are the nations. They have good technology. They have good strategic weapons. They can help India to upgrade our Navy and defense resources. And last thing that I would like to add here is that we need to calculate, right, what we are giving, what we will get. We need to have a proper plan as well as proper calculation that how much we are going to get out of Quad, what are the things that we need, and how this Quad or this other three countries like Japan, India and Japan, US and Australia, how they are going to help us achieve in acquiring those things. When I say things, I'm talking about this peace and freedom and keeping China under control. When I say control, I mean to say that Chinese misbehavior, we don't want to see that in Indian Ocean region, isn't it? Moving on to next item, dear friends, vaccine hope floats. This one is from Times of India. Now, at present, we have some 1.4 crore cases in the world, right? 6 lakh people have died because of COVID-19. And remember this news item that a few months ago, I think when we were the first month of lockdown, this news came out that Oxford University is going to start one of the biggest trial in the world. So the good news is that this Oxford University vaccine candidate has shown considerable promise in early human trials. The vaccine named CHADOX1 NCOV19. I want you guys to note this thing down. You may find a question in your upcoming prelims examination. They can easily ask you one match the following type of question. For example, you can have a A and B list, and here you will have name of the countries like UK, USA, India, etc. And then they will give you name of those vaccines or these trials that they are doing. So you should know this thing that Oxford University is working on CHADOX1 NCOV19. And this is in news because this early human trials has shown a considerable promise. There are 155 other vaccine candidates under development, and we don't have to remember all their names and origin, but there are few that I want you guys to know or make yourself familiarize with these names. Two things appear to have given the British candidate a leg up. First is research done previously, and the second thing is the vaccine mechanism. As far as research done previously is concerned, Oxford University's Jenner Institute was actually working on MERS. MERS is another coronavirus-induced disease. Now, you should know, I'm sure you know many things about coronavirus or about COVID-19, but you should know the names of other coronavirus-induced diseases as well. They can ask you a sort of easy, low-hanging fruit type of question. You will find the question can be, let's say, from the below given list, identify those diseases that are induced by coronavirus. And then you will have this COVID-19, MERS, SARS, and some other names. So you should know exactly which disease is caused by coronavirus. If you don't know, then this is the time. Do a little bit of research and stick your answer in the comment section. I want to see how many of you are genuinely doing it. Then you have this US biotech firm Moderna's vaccine candidate 2 has shown promise and will enter final stage trials this month. Here in India, the indigenous Covaxin, right? Remember this name. This is indigenous. This is Indian Covaxin. Has got a green signal, and it's going to start trials from today itself, from 20th July. So if everything goes okay, then we will have one medicine or vaccine as well. Now let's hope that we find something like the world finds a cure for this COVID-19 so that we can get rid of it as quickly as possible. I want to add one thing about this MERS thing, this research that is going on in UK. The reason why they are far ahead is because before this COVID-19 struck the world, this university, this Jenner Institute of Oxford University, was already working on this chimpanzee adenovirus. Adenovirus is harmless to human. So they were working on this MERS virus already. And all of a sudden we got this COVID-19. So now they have... So this has helped Oxford University a bit in staying ahead of other candidates. So inept. This one is from Statesman. Now, USA has already proved to be utterly inept. USA is one of the most capable nation on this planet, and you find that they have 4 million cases, nearly 2 million active cases, 140,000 people died, and everyday average new case is 70,000. Now, it is unfortunate that leader like President of India, President of USA, right? President of USA is considered as President of the world, isn't it? So you are in this big post, but then as well your actions are inclined or they are motivated by politics and re-election. Because if you see here, there was this news item, Larry Hogan. He is the governor of Maryland. Just like we have chief ministers, they have governors in USA. So he is from Republican Party, right? He is not from Democrat. If he is from another party, then we can understand. But he is from the same party of this Mr. Trump. He said that the president downplayed the outbreak's severity and the White House failed to issue public warnings, draw up a 50-state strategy, or dispatch medical gear or life-saving ventilators from national stockpile to American hospitals. Eventually, it was clear that waiting around for the president to run the nation's response was hopeless. So every governor went their own way, which is how the United States ended up with such a patchwork response. So what he's saying that they did nothing, the federal or central government did nothing profound. So everyone started taking their own decisions, and this is the reason why they have this patchwork response. In this starting phase, Mr. Trump said that he has banned all people coming from China or Hong Kong, Macau, but aviation records show that more than 8,000 people have entered USA in next 3 months. Federal government advised Americans to not wear masks. Masks would not help. This is a very bad advice coming, or irresponsible advice coming from your central government. And it is at present the reports are coming out that one of the main reason why they were asked not to wear masks is because there was a shortage of personal protective equipment. So USA, this administration was it was like as fooling around your people, because you want to provide this mask and other things to your medical personnel, rather than protecting, means medical personnel are also important, but now you're doing this sort of things, which is very sad. So it's a very, very sad situation that politics, elections are so important that so many people lost their lives, and at present USA is in a very bad state. Policy retreat, this one is about this whole topic of student visa. We have talked about it. We have talked about the university side, brain drain, brain gain. We have talked about remittance. We have talked about how it helps foreign universities. Remember? So the thing is, the reason why I'm talking, or I have decided to take this article on our table today is, there are a few points that I want you guys to understand. See, market forces. Universities, at the end of the day, they have to survive as well. Their financial health should be good. And then you have industries. They need fresh talent. So if you don't allow if you don't allow most talented people, skilled people, and USA is very lucky to attract this sort of people from various different parts of the world. And now if government will try to stop them, then of course industry is going to react sharply. And that's the reason why Google CEO also said that this is a bad decision. Anyway, Harvard University, MIT, and over 200 other universities, they have filed a case and against this federal immigration and customs enforcement, saying that this is very cruel, illegal, as well as it undermines this online-based learning system. To avoid COVID-19, the universities and these colleges, they have started online-based learning system, and now we are saying that if you are going to do that, then why don't you go back to your country? H-1B visa is again a big thing for a country like India, and Mr. Trump, I think he has failed on this front. He has not been that successful in creating that many jobs, and the way he has handled this COVID-19, and he's giving too much importance to this America first thing. Now, America, like Atmanirbhar Bharat, is a good thing, but we are not trying to reject any country here. Of course, China is there, but apart from that, the whole world is. We welcome the whole world. But here, USA is just saying that we only us and nothing, no one else. So this is very negative for USA itself, and I don't understand why he gives that much importance to this trade deficit. Look at the investment of USA in various different countries. Just trade, bilateral trade, if it is not balanced, then it's okay. Your overall trade, look at your overall trade, and forget about overall trade, look at your investment. There are so many American you find Coca-Cola everywhere. You find McDonald's, generally speaking, everywhere. You find USA companies in so many things, right? They dominate the world, not just in this geopolitics, but they dominate the world, this global market as well. American companies are probably everywhere, so they make huge amount of money. So these are the things, but it's very sad that he gives importance to only those things that are in numbers rather than quality. And here we have some news items. India's case fatality rate of COVID-19 is one of the lowest in the world, 2.5%, which is a very good as well as confidence boosting news. Bihar COVID-19 cases are going up, which is a bit sad. Northern Railway has made available 503 isolation coaches equivalent to 8,048 beds. The Uttar Pradesh government has decided to increase COVID beds immediately in Lucknow. Telangana touched 45,000 COVID cases. Tamil Nadu, the total infection crossed 1,70,000. Prime Minister had a call with Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu. In Karnataka, 4,120 new COVID-19 cases. Gujarat gets 965. And this Mahakal temple, very famous in Ujjain, will be open only for people who are from Madhya Pradesh, right? No one else from outside or other states will be allowed. And Puducherry, we find new political issue. Kiran Bedi, who is the Lieutenant Governor of Puducherry, has said that she will not deliver customary address of the budget session in Legislative Assembly because she was never given the annual financial statement by the Chief Minister of Puducherry. And Ajay Shankar Memorial Award is given to Jammu and Kashmir's Handicraft and Handloom Department and 3 business firms for contribution in promotion of export of exotic handicraft products in the Union Territory. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much. God bless you all. Jai Hind.